What's up, everybody? This is Mico, the entrepreneur. I am here with Mrs. and Mrs. Seymour. So, before we start talking about different things, I wanted to do this interview with Leah and her wife because Leah and I met as bus operators for Links. And I know it's going to be people watching this interview. Maybe you have a CDL. Maybe you always wanted to drive a bus, whether it's a school bus or for the city. Maybe you wanted to start your own company. Watch this interview from beginning to end. And if you have questions, make sure you put them in the comments below so they can actually reply back to you. Welcome, Mrs. and Mrs. Seymour. What's up,
Hello,
guys?
hello. Hi guys. Hello.
All right, so now I know before you came to Links, you worked at Mirrors, right?
Right.
Okay. So you used to drive the trolley. If you want to talk
Mhm.
about that, that's fine. If not, it's okay. But
Yeah.
I know people who's going to watch this interview, and some people may be local. Maybe they wanted to only drive the trolley and not necessarily the motor coaches.
Yeah.
If you, let's just pick Mirrors, right? So
Mm.
they want to get into Mirrors, but only want to drive the trolleys. What information can you tell them about just getting on a schedule to only do trolleys, or if that's
Well,
possible?
but that's what I'm getting at. Starting with them, you go on and join, and everything's based on a bid, so
Okay.
seniority, and they have slots available depending on where you fall on that seniority list and bidding. You might get the opportunity to be able to bid on the trolley.
Okay.
It all depends on what's left when it's your turn to bid. So when I started, you couldn't just jump on the trolley like that.
Okay.
If you were on the extra board and they needed coverage, then you might be able to land a spot on doing trolley like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the now, I don't know how different it is now because you're no longer in Florida,
Mm.
but they have some trolleys where, excuse me, they use motor coaches because I guess they couldn't find parts or whatever for the trolleys. So now they
Oh,
replace some of the trolleys with motor coaches, but on a motor coach, you're not able to pay the $2 because there's
yeah.
nowhere to put it.
Wow. Okay.
but but I think they only do that on the green line. It's very rare on the red line.
Hmm.
Which line did you used to drive? Both
Yeah,
or red?
yeah, I did both. Green line was the most. Like the scheduled
Okay.
setup I had, I did green line and maybe one trip on the main line.
Okay. Okay. Um, Now, how do you want to discuss what does it take? So you need a CDL, or can you go in and like apply and they can help you get your CDL?
I
Or
I want to say when I started, they were doing classes to help train folks to get their CDL. You needed your permit. When I started,
okay,
they already had my CDLs. Yeah.
okay, all right. And you don't have to have class A or class B. Or endorsement, like so with the air brakes endorsement or the um, I don't know why I'm forgetting, but you didn't have to
The
have so
passenger.
many endorsements, right?
As far as the training, all I knew is that they had to have a permit. They had to have a
Okay,
permit. I didn't know what other specifics they needed, but I had everything when I started.
okay. Do you remember like the training period? Was it like 6 to 8 weeks, or was it lower than that, or was it like 8 to 10 weeks of training?
With the permit,
Just in general, like
just in
to
general, the
once you get
training,
hired on, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that long. I want to say about 6 weeks. I don't even think it was that long, to be honest.
Okay. All right. And then when you left um, Mears, is that when you came over to Links?
Right. But I kind of did mirrors and links at the same time. So I
Okay.
started out with links before, and they were kind of on a freeze period. So that's why I went in fully to join with mirrors and ride with
Okay.
them for a little while.
Now, Mrs. Seymour, let me tell you, when I first met, no, just when I met Leah, I thought that I don't know, she had like this untouchable type of, like, she was elite A. How can I say this? So she was friendly, but she was like had this, if you don't, you got to wait till you get to know me type of attitude. So I don't know if it's like that, like when you met her.
No different. No different. I spent 3 years head nodding with her before we crossed words. Okay?
Really?
Yes, from across the room, head nodding and links.
Really? So it wasn't just me.
No, no, no.
Okay. Okay. So when did we start at Links? I was trying to find my class picture, but it's on the wall at Links, of course. But I have it
Mhm.
and it's packed up. I don't know where it is.
Was it like 2011? Was it 2011? 2012?
I'm thinking 2012 because I
That
just
was the
graduated.
second go. See that was my second go round
Okay.
when I
Okay.
returned. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm still waiting on Sherwin to reach out back to me. He
Good
didn't
luck.
answer my text.
Hmm.
So Mrs. Seymour, you were in Links too?
Yeah, I started January of 2013.
Really?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to add up the no, I was just like I'm trying to add up the years. I'm joking. Inside joke. Inside joke. So 2012, 2013. What routes did you do?
All the ones nobody else wanted. The eight.
Oh, I
That I
never
was
did
really.
that one.
Yeah, I did the eight, and I usually did the last one. So I was a night driver for the most part.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, now, if you want to chime in on asking questions or even answering questions, that's fine too. So I remember now, how long were you at Coach USA, Leah?
mm, about 5 years. Yeah, about
5 years.
5 years. Yeah,
Okay.
because with my driving, I overlap one another. I was at a part time at one and full time doing the other. So,
Okay. Now, I never really told anyone this. Briefly, I worked for Coach USA
hmm
and I only went through training. This is before I came to Links.
hmm
I went through their training, and the issue that I had was I couldn't do the backwards eight.
yeah,
Excuse my language, but I said, how the hell I'm gonna do a backwards eight? You would never do that on the street.
right.
They were trying to get me out of there. That's what it was. And let's just say this is the cone and
hmm
this is the bus. So I was like this close on the cone. They said you can't be that close on the cone when you do your backwards eight. When I
Yeah,
got off that bus, I said, never in your life will you ever do a backwards eight on the street.
right.
They teach you never to back up the bus on the street in general.
Yeah.
So how you gonna let me go out of training? This was my last week of training, but I think it was just something about me that they wanted me out of there. And so that was
Yeah.
their excuse. And after all, it was a good thing. Hindsight, it was a better idea because I probably wouldn't have lasted anyway, right? Because they didn't treat
Yeah.
me well. but but and then I came to Links, and that's when I started working with you guys, and it's like 13 months. I think I stayed for 13 months because I was trying to get off the bus and get into the office.
Right.
And once we get I did Ray's interview, but right now we're in the editing parts to trying to see if we're going to keep it or not or redo it, because there was some
Okay.
parts in there that was said.
Oh,
But
okay.
so yeah, we're trying to see if we're going to go ahead and keep that one or redo it. But what I'm bringing up, it answered the question of what I just said of they were trying to get me out of there in Coach USA
Yeah.
because of my personality and my experience and stuff like that. But,
Yeah.
so out of Links, Mirrors. Oh, before I get started on that, Mrs. Seymour, did you ever work for Mirrors?
I didn't work for Mears, but I worked for Coach in New York.
Okay. Okay.
I'm from New York,
Um,
so I started driving buses in New York.
okay. So Leah, with Links, Mirrors, and Coach USA, if someone's watching this interview right now and they had a choice to pick between one of the three from your experience based in Florida, can you rank which one they should work for first? What will be a second option, and then what will be a
Mm.
third option? I got to put you on the spot.
Oh, that's a tough one because, well, it all depends, you know. If you're an over the road traveler, you know, driver, coach would probably be the one to go through. Um,
Still over
I
the
haven't
road.
really did I haven't did too much of over the road with Mears. It was a lot of local events. Um,
Okay.
the best experience with them, I would say, was within the trolley for Mears
Okay.
for me. Um, you get to meet a lot of different people from all over. Um, Link City Bus, you have to have the right mind for that.
Yes.
Your mentals,
Yeah.
you can't be into your skin. You gotta have tough skin. Don't
Yep.
take nothing personal. You gotta be a people person, you know. And that was me. I treated everybody with respect, no matter who they were. I never had any issue with anybody. As you know, we all had some coworkers that been through some things.
I don't even want to
Various
get
people for
started.
different situations. Just follow the guidelines, do the job, and you won't have no issue. You know what I mean? You don't own that bus. You drive it. Your job is to
Right.
get people from A to B. Keep it as simple as possible and easy for you. Safe.
I
How
agree.
about you? What was your experience?
Me, or you talking to your wife?
I'm talking to Minnie
So,
over here.
Why did you leave
so
Links?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I left Links because I was trying to get into the administration department. So I was trying to get off the bus. I started with.
Okay.
I'm from Chicago, so I started with CTA, Chicago Transit Authority, back in I think 2005. And again, I only worked 13 months. And it's something with 13 months. That's weird. Between the two. So I worked 13 months with them. And then when I moved here later down the line, I worked with Links for 13 months. So when I came into CTA, I just graduated with my bachelor's degree. And I really don't want to like talk about it again because in the next interview with Ray, I mentioned a lot of that. but briefly, I'm going to mention it. So basically, I came in with a degree, and I thought that I can use my degree to get into an office position. And they were like, no, you have to put in your time. So being a bus operator, you put in your time because there are steps, right? So you're a driver for maybe 1 to 2 years, and then you can be a line instructor. And then when you're a line instructor, you do that for 2 to maybe 4 years or 5 years, and then you can become a trainer. And then after the trainer, so you necessarily now having a degree or having education is a bonus. It's a bonus to help you to get that job, but initially you don't need it. They just go by hands-on experience and the time that you put in. So, I want to mention this too. I didn't apply at Mears, but what I did was I test drove one of the motor coaches, and they used Van Hool.
Right.
When I sat in that seat and we drove around the corner, and I used my same skills of looking at the rear wheel, right? When you make your turn.
Yeah.
I would never be, and I'm saying this now, I would never be a motor coach driver. Those buses,
it's not the same.
I would never be that driver. When you sit in the seat, you're sitting like down low, and everything else is above. And trying to drive that bus, he said you could put some speed on it. I said, no, I'm okay. Driving slow. I'm like, and I'm looking around because I don't want nobody to hit me, and I don't want to hit no one else. So I turned the corner. The guy, the trainer, was standing up. He said, he just looked at me like, okay, you gonna turn this corner a little sooner? It was so funny though, because I was laughing as I was turning the bus. I said, oh my God. And I'm looking at my mirror, right, trying to look at the rear wheel of this turn. I was so scared. I drove it back to where we were, and I ain't even parked the bus. I just, here you go. And I got out that seat, and I said, I changed my mind, but thank you. I'm glad I test drove it. So, all right. So now you making me do some work. Now I gotta drop this in CapCut and edit. See what you make me do. All right. So we're gonna start from right here. So with links, what skills did you use that can like help you get through the day? So we already know that being a bus operator, you're an advisor, you're a teacher, you're a mother, you're a best friend, you're all these people when you're driving a bus, because it's not just you taking them to work or taking them home, you listening to them. It's so many people that come on the bus with different situations, and they just want to be heard. What did you do? And I'll ask you that question too, Mrs. Seymour. What did you do, Leah, to get through your day when you worked at Lynx, when you worked at Coach USA, and when you worked at Mears?
I just was in good spirits. I mean, I chewed gum for those real trying moments, Like I say, I treated everybody with respect. They talked, I listened, I meet and I greet some of them. Some of them didn't have a response. Some of them didn't even speak. Some of them, they said, oh, have a nice day when they got off. It's just that whatever they were going through, I used to say good morning to some of the folks. They say, "Oh, what's good about it? We woke up
Oh
this
wow.
morning." Yeah,
Yeah.
but you just don't know what that particular passenger is going through, you know. So you have to make the best of it. I didn't take anything personal, really, you
Okay.
know.
Mrs. Seymour, I did not know you're from New York. So you drove you
Yeah,
for
I drove in New
MTA,
York.
right?
No. I drove for Coach. I
Oh,
drove for
okay,
Coach and
coach.
for Gray
Okay.
Line. For Coach and for Gray Line.
Okay.
Because in New York, I don't know how it is in Chicago, but in New York, you don't just apply for MTA and you're in. You got to take a test. You got to get on a waiting list. I did take the
Oh,
test, and I was on a waiting list. But by the time I got called from the waiting list, I was already in Orlando, so I had already made.
wow.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Um,
So so Gray Line is similar to Coach over the road.
they go over the road. They do a lot of sightseeing. The double decker buses sightseeing in downtown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those red buses that look like the ones from England that have double deckers.
Yeah.
That's Gray Line. Gray Line does mostly the tour buses out of
Okay.
town, and I mean the tour buses, the guides, the double decker guides, and NYU, the university downtown. They
Mm,
take
okay.
the students from campus to campus.
Okay. Now I know I would never get on the double decker, especially having the experience driving that motor coach. So I know I would never do be a driver for coach or Gray Line. But so what was your experience with driving? So how long you been at Gray Line? How long were you at Gray Line?
I was at Gray Line for 6 years. I was with Coach. Actually, with Coach, I was supposed to transfer. When I left New York, I was supposed to transfer from Coach in New York to Coach in Orlando. But I could not find LB McLeod because I was looking for a street spell LB McLeod, not LB McLeod. So I missed my interview and they called me in for another interview. But before they called me in for the other interview, I went to the school buses in Orlando. I did the school buses.
Oh,
They,
oh.
yeah.
Now I know certain street names. So like I've been to New York once, about 3 years ago. I went to go visit. I went for the Macy's Day Parade. So that's when I was in actually Houston, Katy, Texas. I know that they don't say
Houston.
Houston, they say Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was
Houston.
like, that's it. They were like, who? No, we say Houston. I'm like, oh, okay.
But
I
at
just
least
find that interesting.
Houston and Houston, like the spelling is the same.
Same.
But
Right.
I'm looking for LB McLeod. I'm looking for McLoud. I am not looking for no LEOD because that says McLeod to me. That doesn't say McLeod. And you know how many times I drove by LB McLeod? No, no, because
Oh my God.
as a professional driver, I didn't use up to today. It's hard for me to use GPS. I'm a map book girl. Give me a map book and I'll get wherever I need to go with a map book. But these GPSs, I don't really.
They're horrible, especially when you do food delivery. I cringe every time I get to apartment complex and the GPS is telling me to go left and I know I'm supposed to go right.
You're right.
I'm like, no, like where are you sending me? I just freeze up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm stressing out because they would, they paying attention to you, most of them. And
And they see
they'll
you
text
in the
you. They'll
circle.
text you. They'll be like, where you going? I'm following the GPS. They're like, no, don't follow the GPS. I'm like, okay, I don't you should have been out here to get your food in the first place. That's when I had to start being Chicago. So I started, defense
My
mechanism.
my My hats off to you because I do Amazon. I've done Ship. We do what's the other one? No,
VHO.
Viho. But that DoorDash, you can have that because I'm not going to your door and you happen to open your door and something's missing or it's cold and you curse me out. We gonna have a problem.
Speaking
Yeah.
of VHO, I did it. I don't know if you saw my video, but I did it here. I was on the app for like maybe a year or so and never took an order. Then this year I decided maybe a couple of months ago to do an order finally. That app is crap. Now I don't know how it is where you are, but that app is crap here in Orlando. That's just my opinion. I did it twice and I said never again. So probably the same your way you feel about DoorDash is how I feel about VHO.
Yeah.
What was the major fault for Viho for you?
So with VHO, now I'm trying to take a picture of the phone. So my phone doesn't do, so when you're at the location getting your boxes
Mm.
at the
Right.
warehouse, and my phone doesn't scan QR codes. So I had to do it manually.
Oh.
Ouch.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
no
took me
bueno.
longer. It took me
Yeah.
longer. And so
Yeah.
by the time I got all the boxes in my vehicle and went out, I didn't realize that it was, I think my first drop off was like over 25 miles. And then by the time I get there, you have to take a picture. Well, I don't know if it's the same way for you. I have to
Yeah.
take a picture of the box. You
Mm-hmm.
got to scan the box. Then you
And the
got to take
address.
a picture of the address.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Now, why are you making me take a picture of the box and the address? 9 times out of 10, it didn't go through. So it'll kick me off. And I had to redo it all over
Mm.
again.
Wow.
Watch my video. You will see, you'll hear me venting. But
Yeah. My biggest issue with Viho is that when they tell
It's
you
a three
it's
hour.
let's say example, when you first nab it, it'll tell you 3 to 5 or 3 to 5. It won't tell you the exact time. Now the
mhm.
next day, when it's the day that you're picking it up and you get there, it'll tell you, okay, let's say 3 hours. I still haven't figured out where the heck they start counting those 3 hours. Because first of
That's
all, now they have fixed it a little because they opened another one, so everybody's not going to the same place. First of all, you wait 10, 15 minutes to get into the building. Then, if you're lucky, you wait maybe 5 minutes for them to bring you the card. If you're lucky. So now it takes you, my phone scans, so I didn't have that issue you have, but now you got to scan all these boxes. You got to put them in a certain specific order in the car because it doesn't make sense for you to just throw them in there because then you got to, when you get to each stop, you got to look for it. Sometimes you're missing a package. Sometimes you have a package that's not yours. That's all time. So let's say you spent the hour between waiting to get into the building, scanning your packages, and getting out. That's 1 hour's gone. Or let's not even put 1 hour. Let's say 45 minutes gone. Your block is a 3 hour block. Now
right.
you realize that the first stop is an hour and 10 minutes away. There you go. There goes your 2 hours, but you still got 45 packages to deliver.
Yep.
So that's my problem with Viho. That's my issue. My biggest issue with Viho is that one because Amazon they gotten a lot better. They'll
Mhm.
fail me every now and then, but they've gotten a lot better.
So what I'm gonna do is send you the link to the video that's on my channel so you can watch it
Mm.
because
Okay.
I kind of mentioned that too. Don't tell me it's 3 hours and when I'm done, I've done 7 hours.
Exactly. That's Viho.
Yeah.
That's
And
Yeah.
I only got paid that amount you told me. No, I did extra
Yeah.
hours.
And they
Yeah.
and they stress do not return your packages.
Yeah. Don't return
They
them.
Yeah,
push that one. Do not return your packages.
right.
I don't know.
Also,
Amazon. Go ahead.
also I wanted to say with VHO, they don't have Google Maps in app. So if I'm at the gate and I took Google to get to the gate, I don't have a gate code. So now I got to come out of Google Maps to go into the app, which it takes time to load up.
And a
Wow.
lot of times it doesn't
It
have
didn't load up like that.
a gate code.
And you try to contact the person, it's like, what do you
Yeah,
do?
it was horrible.
Yeah,
It was horrible. So
that's
one,
more time.
they need to pay for the in app with Google, but from what I heard, over $1 million, they don't want to do that.
Wow.
Well, what they're gonna wind up doing is shutting down because drivers get frustrated.
Yep.
The drivers get frustrated and they just, they don't know. They don't
Yeah.
know. Now you have all these packages from people ordering it. Who's gonna take them?
Well, I did my 2 routes because I came back the next week and did it. I said never again. So I'm done with them. Yeah, I'm done. I even if you follow me on Twitter, well X, but I still call it Twitter. I already reached out to VHO. I reached out to VHO like 3 times and like your app is trash. You need to sell this to DoorDash or Uber. I went off. They probably saying, who is this woman? Who is this?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna switch gears, and I know since I've known you, you always been a hustler, and I know that you try to get into different type of businesses.
Hmm.
If you want to, if you want to talk about the different businesses you started, and
Hmm.
then if someone's watching this right now because they're in a situation where they want to be their own boss, they want that flexibility, but sometimes being a small business owner is just a title. You have to
Yeah.
work towards that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't get that money up front. People think, oh,
Right.
well, I got my own business. I got this. No, it's not like that. So,
I'm
and
glad you brought that up too.
through your lenses, both you
Hmm.
and Minnie, can you tell us about how it is being a small business owner from your lens?
The
And
first
just
thing
be
I'm gonna
just be
say,
upfront. Just be upfront.
Yeah.
the first thing I'm gonna say is that all business owners, small business owner, big business owners, franchisees, whatever,
Hmm.
you gotta memorize or implant into your mind the fact that it's going to take you at least 5 years to start seeing, for you to be able to say, I got a business. I can start reaping what I sowed. Because people think that, like you said, oh, I got my business, I'm in it, okay, maybe a year, maybe two. No, at minimum, you got to think of it. Give yourself 5 years to start seeing where you can sit back and now say, I got a business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I got someone that can run this and can run this, and I can sit back and relax a little. Minimum 5 years. Minimum. Some people it may take more, depending on
Right.
the business.
The up and the
Right.
downs. You gotta the financials, the output. How far you can stretch it out. Finding dependable people. That's the next
Well, that's
thing.
number one. That's number one right there.
Listen, since this COVID thing has hit, nobody wants to work anymore. Everybody wants to do everything remotely, and it don't work like that for all businesses. Especially physical businesses where you really need to be in it to get things done. Um, what else can I say?
Well, can I ask this? So you don't have to get into the ins and outs of the box truck business, but
Mhm,
if someone wanted to purchase a box truck, I
mhm,
know you need your DOT, right? It's a lot of information you need. You really
yeah,
need to do your research when you go and buy a truck.
for real,
um,
for
Hmm.
real. Look, buy
and
it new, buy it new,
so if you can
buy
share
it
your
new.
if you can share your story on
Don't buy it from
and
Penny.
like I said, and like I said,
Yeah,
you don't have to go through the ups and downs part of it, but like I'm watching right now and I got a good idea for a moving company, but I need
Mm,
to start out with one truck. What would you
yeah.
tell that person to go ahead and get that one truck for their business to start out?
Um, First of all, buy new. Don't go to Penske. Do not buy from Penske. Really, really do your research. There's a lot of other companies out there, manufacturers that have some good trucks. But research, like thorough, you know,
Shop around for
shop around,
insurance.
insurance, make sure your warranties are intact in black and white in print.
Mm.
Um, because they would definitely say you some limits out there and you would have no idea. None. We had friends and family of ours that umbrellaed under us. They got a truck, but the truck that they got wasn't reliable. It went so much of a distance and then it became unreliable. And they
Mm.
put out a good bit of money and it was a loss, a loss for them. We
Now, what
experienced some
size
things.
truck? Well, I'm sorry, what
We
size truck that people should start out with? So the U-Haul trucks, I
mm,
don't know the feet. So is it like a 10 by 15 foot, or is it a 10-foot truck, a 20-foot truck? Like for someone who just starting out with one
26
truck because
foot
they're on a
box
budget.
truck.
So you want a 26-foot box truck.
Well, this is
What?
the thing.
Let me
Depending
see here.
on where they're gonna get the work from, the demand is gonna be 26 foot or higher.
Okay.
Yeah, 26 foot or higher, depending on the work.
It also depends if they have a CDL or not.
Right. You don't really,
Because for 26 foot, you don't need a CDL.
but because we had the type of truck that we had, you needed
With
a
the weight,
CDL. The weight.
it depends on the weight. After it goes
Hmm
over, what was it, honey? 30, over
Well,
30,000.
GVW. Yeah. Yeah, depending on the weight of the truck
Depending
too.
on the weight, it depends if they need a CDL or not. Because if you don't need a CDL, then it's a little bit more lenient, a little bit more leniency on the rules as opposed to when you have a CDL. Well, when you have a CDL,
Right.
they come down harder on you.
Right.
Which I think
Okay.
it should be even all across the board because it's the same type of equipment. You have to
Okay.
abide by the rules of the road far as trucking is concerned. You have to go into
So
the truck pull-ins. You have
so
to
what
do
is the
all.
price? What is the price of a new truck? And then what is the price of a used truck if they decide to go used?
Mm. Whew. A new truck can go anywhere between what 80K and up. New,
For
yeah.
one,
For
One.
one, yes,
I'm
for
out.
one.
I'm out.
For real, for real.
And
And
then
that's
what's the
not with
lowest?
all the bells and whistles or nothing like that.
That's just your regular, average, simple
Hmm
truck.
Now, we've seen from people personally selling used trucks 18,000, but again, you want to do your research. You want to get every type of coverage that they have out there for a truck to cover that truck. You getting a truck for that price. Or if you are a skilled
Mechanic.
professional
Mechanic.
mechanic, right? You ain't a mechanic, buy it new or find every coverage you can find out there to cover that truck. Honestly.
That's a big difference. 18,000 for used to 80,000 minimum for new. Wow,
Hmm
that's
Mm-hmm.
a big difference. And
And
for
that's with
one truck.
somebody private. Yeah, they probably just, I don't know, they're just giving it away. They ran their course with it, that they just want to get it gone. The insurance probably was too high that you get it low ball like that. But at a dealership getting it used, you might get it anywhere between 39,000. That's used. But again,
Mm.
Some of them gonna recommend that you get X-Nay YZ coverage because they know you gonna need it sooner or later.
So, do you know? I don't know a lot of the make and models of these trucks.
Hmm.
If you know, can you give us some of the names of the makes and models of these type of trucks that people should research for?
See, we had a Freightliner.
Freightliner. Okay.
Yeah, we had a Freightliner. You got the Peterbilts are out there.
Hmm.
Um,
Those are
Volvo.
pricey, right?
yeah, Volvos. Yeah, it depends. Yeah, they all run its class.
Okay.
Volvo,
Hmm.
yeah, Volvos. I even seen the Eco line, and I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Is that for real?" Yeah, but um,
Wow.
Bluebird.
yeah, Bluebird.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now, what type of insurance you need? Just is it just how can I say it? So you need insurance for the vehicle, right? And then you
yeah.
need insurance for like the contents that you're putting in, or how does that
Yeah, the
go?
driver, the insurance, like we carried a $2 million policy, and
Mhm.
it was 1 million aggregated.
Okay.
To cover, you know, the property or stuff that you're carrying, but it's expensive. And at the
Okay.
time when we were running the trucking business, the insurance for us monthly was 1,900. You know, yeah, 1,900 a month. Yeah,
Yeah.
and kind of some of the type of work that I do now, you know, non-medical emergency transportation, their insurance just on a van now is 2,600. So imagine what a trucking business, a box truck business could be. Is in the 2,500 and up, maybe 3,000 a month better. And then you gotta factor all these things in. We done held our CDLs. We never been in any accident or incidents with all this, and that's with a clean driving record. Their insurance was 1,800 a month, and that was decent, I guess. But now, since regular car insurance is going up, I'm pretty sure commercial insurance is doubling or tripling. Hmm.
So you need one. Okay, so let's just say you starting out lean. So you starting out with
Hmm.
one box truck. How many people you need? You need a driver, right? And you need a loader or unloader or whatever.
Well, it all depends. If
Yeah,
you,
because
we had no touch.
she said it's a moving
Oh,
example, a moving
moving,
company.
then
Yeah.
yeah, you need two or
Well,
Okay,
it
you
three.
need the
depends.
driver.
What you
It
moving?
depends. It depends on if you want to touch, want to work, or
Touch the
you just
freight.
gonna be the driver. Then you need two bodies with you
That's
to
one.
unload and load. So that means you
Okay.
need four. You need four in total because you're not gonna use these same two people 7 days a week. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
You gotta,
yeah. Gotta rotate somebody.
and
Yeah.
then you need one to replace you
Yeah.
because sooner or later you're
You
gonna
gonna
get
be
tired. No
tired.
matter how
Yeah.
much you say, you're gonna need somebody to drive. Yes,
And you still gotta abide by the DOT rules and regulations of driving.
they do, but
Right, the hours. Yeah, you
Right.
can't
yes,
drive
Hmm.
over 70 or 80 hours or something like that.
Right. Right. In the 8 day
Interesting.
turnaround. Yep.
Even this is your own business, you still can't drive over the set amount of hours.
No.
no,
No.
and you have to keep a. You
Yes,
must have a
log.
log of all of this because if DOT pulls you over, you done.
Yeah. Still have to abide by that. See, that's what I'm saying. These are things that we've been doing for years, so it was a no-brainer to do it for us. This is easy.
This is why I'm
Yeah.
having this interview because
Mhm.
now I want people to know it's not when you see other people starting their businesses, whether it's a franchise or out on their
Mhm.
own, they're not making that type of money and having this type of lifestyle that you think they are because they're just not.
Yeah,
No,
It's not.
yeah.
no.
It's It's not easy.
Look, we go through that now. I don't know what people
No,
think. What we
we have
make.
a cleaning business now, and whatever comes in goes right back out.
And
And we only have one employee. I mean, aside from ourselves, we only have one employee.
Okay,
yeah, so
so you're not just so you're a serial entrepreneur, not just a small business owner.
yeah, we trying. You know how we are. We trying to work
Yeah, I
smarter,
know.
not
I
harder.
know how you are.
Hard.
Right. I know how it is. Hey, every project you've been on, I trust me. I was, hey, what's up, Leah? What, whatever. So
Hmm.
tell me, because I haven't heard about the cleaning business. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we like I say, going from the trucking business or what have you. You know what happened with the trucking business. We still going through that series of
Okay.
stuff right now, but
Hmm.
we're limited. We can't really do that driving right now as we were before. So we started a franchise business in cleaning. You found,
Okay.
and so we've
How
been
did you
doing a little
find
bit of
that?
that,
How did you
researching
find
online,
that?
just
Okay.
researching. Yeah, I just took a day and just sat there researching different things, and I stumbled upon that, and we set up the interview with that business, and we met and we went over the rules and pretty much the consultation and how much was the buy-in, and
Okay.
then we put the money down for that, and it came with a lot of startup stuff, and we
Okay.
started from one or two little small commercial accounts, and we built up all the way to 23 commercial accounts.
So you have
And
23 commercial accounts.
No,
no, we
no.
had small ones, and then we backed down to like about 8.
Okay. No, that's
What
okay.
But
happened is that they
major
were small.
ones,
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
small
small,
accounts, but
and
they
we
were
just
Okay.
all over, all over. That's a lot of driving,
So
commuting,
what
and
do you
trying to
clean?
clean commercial businesses like
Oh,
Gerber's.
so physically go in and like vacuum and
Hmm.
clean.
Yeah,
right.
Hey, okay.
yeah.
What's the name of your company?
It's Building Stars. Our company is L&L Exceptional LLC, but we
The
bought the
company.
franchises Building Stars.
Okay.
Hmm.
So now that we're on this subject, see, this is why I
Hmm.
always kept in touch with you. So now that we talking about starting a cleaning business, because you have like I'm just gonna throw it out there, Mary Maids,
Hmm.
and you have this and you
Hmm.
have that, and
That's
then
what
you have
that's
people
what it's
trying to
like.
Yeah.
okay, you have people trying to start out and they have their minivan or they have their
Hmm.
car and then they have all their tools in their vehicle
Right.
and so
Right.
they go and clean people's houses.
Right.
So other than research, how would you tell someone if they wanted to start a cleaning company as a franchisee? So congratulations on that.
Hmm.
What would you tell them first? Because I know sometimes we go by trial and error. I know you
Right.
went by trial and error because you went to go do research. But if this is
Yeah.
something that they're if this is something they're interested in, what would you tell them first before they sign a dotted line?
Still, uh, comparison like is multiple franchises out there. Like you have Jenny King and
Pro King.
Pro King and Jan Pro and Building Stars. You gotta just align them and see what's what. You pay royalties to some of them. Like I
Mm,
said, we don't do a lot of the front end work. We don't have to worry about the accounting part. We don't have to worry about going in, taking the measurements of the square foot. Our front base does that. They take
okay.
care of that. All
Okay.
we do is go in and do
The
the
work.
actual work. As far as the billing, the front office, they take care of that. So other franchises might not be set up that way. You know, I don't
So
know if
are
you
you on
have to bill your
payroll?
clientele like billing, right?
No, are you on payroll where you two getting a check? Are you getting a check at least?
Right,
Like,
through
do you get
the
paid?
franchise. Through the
Okay.
franchise, yeah.
It's like contract
Contract.
business, not payroll contract.
Contract.
Oh, so you're
Mhm.
a 1099 within your own
Yes,
business.
yes.
Right. Mhm.
Interesting.
But it's
Okay,
like you
interesting.
pay for insurance, you pay for the percentage of being a part of that franchise. So everybody has their different percentages. Different franchises might be different. You might be paying royalties forever. This one is broken down in 3 stages. You start off as a individual technician. You can go up to a certain amount of square footage, and then you buy into the next step where you become a manager, and then you actually have a team and you going in and checking the sites. And then the third level buy-in is like the executive type, where you sit back, you have somebody else to go do all the check-ins and stuff like that. But the way it's run by us right now, we pretty much doing all three in a sense,
Right.
you
But
know.
are you on just the first level? You're on the first level to buy in?
Right. Mhm.
Okay. And when did you start this cleaning company?
uh 20, what was it?
2 years ago,
Yeah, a little over 2
22.
years ago. Yeah.
You ain't tell me about this company.
Oops, my bad.
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay. Now, so it's you, Minnie, and do you have any other people on staff now?
One, one
One.
employee.
Yeah.
You can't. It's get, that's another thing I
It's a
would tell
high
you to tell
turnover.
anyone that told you about going into
Right.
cleaning business. Please, before you do that, search your area and see how many people like that kind. Because we cannot find a decent employee for the life of us.
So, okay. I- uh, okay. So, what are the hours and then what is the starting pay? Because sometimes it's not about the pay, sometimes it's about the hours, especially if they have
Well,
kids, they got to take them to
the
Let's look
daycare.
at.
cleaning. Well, this business, you depends. If you take on some accounts, if you take on some accounts, they might want to clean it during the day. All
Okay.
the cleaners that, oh no, 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 hold on. All the
You can keep
cleaners that
going.
we try to do after 5, really, because sometimes it's a hassle of having folks in house while you're trying to do the cleaning, because it's
Okay.
like you can let's change this or just clean that 10-15 minutes after. It's like a cleaner came through here, because you have different settings. Some employees don't care. They don't
Okay.
respect what the company has hired a cleaner to come and clean. You know what I mean?
I have a question first before you move forward.
Mm.
Do you just clean the offices but and the bathroom or just the offices?
Everything:
Everything.
offices, bathroom, floor,
Mhm.
kitchen.
Everything.
That's a lot of
It
work.
all really it all really
Oh,
depends.
ask me about it.
It all really depends on what that client wants, what kind of setup. But mainly they want the office space clean, wiped on the desk, dusting, vacuuming, mopping, restrooms, yeah, kitchens.
What I will say, when you first get a contract, it's daunting because you don't know what you're walking into unless it's a new building. We have had new buildings where you walk into something fresh. All you have is the dust from when they finished the building and whatever. Once you do that deep cleaning, the rest is on you because you're the one that's coming in to clean it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you have your upkeep, it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't.
And
It's just
then
getting it to where it's supposed to be.
if you get an account that you don't know who has been in charge of the cleaning, it's hard because then you got to try to get it up to par. And some things you just can't help. Some things are just so old that no matter how much cleaning you're gonna do, it's just gonna
Yeah.
still look like nothing was done for real. And at that point, you kind of just need to replace it.
Okay.
You know.
So, before we close out this interview, can you, or if you want to, you don't have to, can you
Hmm.
discuss how much you pay yourself? Either you can say it hourly, you can say it weekly, or you can say it monthly. And how much do you pay your employee once you bring them on?
Well, it all depends on what we're gonna have them do specifically. It all depends
Okay.
on the square footage of that account or exactly what location they'll be going to. We're not just gonna send them there. They have to go and work with us. We never send somebody there alone. We can't. That's our name on the line. Um, Contract wise, I can give you an example. Like for the 8 accounts that we had contract wise, the pull in might be about 12 a month, but that is not exactly what we get because then it's broken down by the insurance, the percentage of what you're paying to the franchise, the administration fees, and then we see the take home. Then from there,
My
we
light too
do the
hot.
breakdown of what we paying everybody else.
Okay. Um, wow.
But the pay
So,
is
okay.
monthly.
It's monthly, paid out once a month.
I don't know if I like that pay model.
They
I
pay us
don't know
once a
about that.
month.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't
I
like
don't
that. I don't want to get paid once a month.
listen. I done been put in the position where, when my wife had her surgeries and stuff, and it was just me, and I had to take on extra people to help me get through these cleanings. I made it where I was paying them out of my pocket weekly, but that wasn't. How can I say that wasn't? What's my word? That wasn't practical enough for me. And still, I think I used to pay them a little bit more than they would working a regular 40-hour job with benefits, and it still didn't hang on. It was too much. Some folks can't work 2 jobs. You know what I mean? That's kind of the help we've been getting. Someone who already has a job is tiring. If they don't work the full hour, 8-hour shift day, and then they're gonna come on with us about 5 o'clock to about 11, 12. That's what it used to be. It could be a lot for them, you know.
5 p.m. or 5 a.m.?
5 p.m. Yeah,
Okay.
all our work is after 5, after offices are closed. Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you do if you don't mind answering? What do you two do before you go to your job, to your work for free job? Because that's what it sounds like.
Pretty much.
So, what else do you do? Do you do like Amazon and before you go, or like food delivery, or do you have another
I
job?
well,
Every once in a while, we try to plug in.
yeah.
Every once in a while. It's not a
Okay.
dead set thing. It's like I say, it could be a bit much.
Yeah, because remember, we going to work at these places. Sometimes we finish at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. By the time you come home, get kiddos, send them to school, you don't have energy or nothing to do anything else. On top of the pain still from the accidents and all that, it's not easy.
Yeah.
So many, Mrs. Seymour. I'm about to make a joke, but this is a joke that's really between me and Leah. She can
Mm-hmm.
explain
Okay.
it to you later. She can explain to
Yeah.
you
Okay.
later. So I always joke with Leah because I'm like, why would you always choose the hardest hustles?
Yeah.
I kid you not, from we can go all the way back to the dollar store. I I wish I was her consultant. If she would have took me seriously and I could have consulted her for free. I didn't even have to charge her because I consult people on being a small business. I
Yeah.
do that
Hmm.
on my I do that on my YouTube channel. It's
Yeah.
$49 a month. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So I used to always joke with her and say, why do you always choose the hardest hustles? Because I know she can cook.
Hmm.
I don't know to this day.
I
I
know
don't
a
know
little bit.
why.
I know a little bit because she don't cook too much for me. I stepped in and she retired.
Okay, because I'm sorry. She used to cook. But what I'm saying is she could have like a food truck doing or a food cart somewhere doing like 4 or 5 entrees. You know what I mean? And just selling it
Yeah.
out like that. I don't know for the life of me, because I would bring it up. Like, why don't you just how to cook these items, just cook that and just sell those. And no, if it's something like, and I'm not saying she chooses it on purpose, but I think with Leah, if it's too easy, she don't want it. She wants stuff that's gonna give her a challenge for some reason. I don't know, but
Mhm.
couldn't do it. I couldn't.
Yeah.
What you guys are doing, I couldn't do it because I don't want my schedule where I'm coming in at midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I worked when I first moved here, and I don't want to get off the subject, but when I first moved here to Orlando and I started working at Universal Orlando, I worked in City Walk, third shift.
Mhm.
Never worked
Yeah.
third shift in my life. Never. I did that for maybe let's just say 2 to 4 months. And I said after that, when I left, I said I would never work 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. for someone else in my life. It better be for myself. That's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not that. I wake up early. Sometimes I wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. I text people. I check my email. They be like, "Why you up so early?" I I just wake up early. That's just me.
Mm.
I cannot. I'm not a night owl where I can work. I can do food delivery at night, but I choose not to because I want to make sure I make my money during the day. And if not, then I'm gonna carry it over to the next day and hustle my butt off to get it done.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
that's just an inside joke that I always tease Leah about. Like she should just do a food truck or a food cart and just
Mm.
how much money she would make with the Bahamian
She, she
food that
says it
she
all
can
the
make.
time. She
Yeah.
says it all the time. Every time we go buy something, she said, "Look, honey, wings and fries or hot dog and this." She says it out her mouth, but that's it.
We gonna
I don't.
revisit that because yes, definitely need to change up some things. Cause
You know how much we've talked about the mini donuts?
yeah, remember the donuts and smoothies? I still bring that up, man. I be like, man, maybe we can give that a shot. It's
I
just
gotta
right
shake my
now where
head.
we are right now. It's just where we are right now. It's just the timing is a little off. We just, you know, hoping for something to change sooner or later. So
Well,
we can
I'm
revisit some
consulting you.
smarter investments.
Well, I'm consulting you right now. I need you to listen. You're witnessing this day right
Uh
now at
huh.
this moment. if this cleaning franchise doesn't pan out for you, as your consultant for free, you need to start a food cart or food truck and sell 5 entrees, no more than that. 5 entrees with chips and desserts. That's it.
You hear that?
Yeah.
She consulted you.
Yes.
So if, like I said, give it a few more years, if it's all the time and effort that you put into it and you're not getting what you want out of in return, I need you to start that food truck or food cart. Okay?
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you.
I've been trying to tell her that, but I don't know how many years, but
Sometimes we gotta go through some things, right?
Well, you went through like 20 different things
to get back
Exactly.
to get back on the train.
Now, people think I'm a hustler. Serial hustler, that's Leah. Leah is a serial hustler. That's who she is. But before we finally close, do you guys have any closing comments for people who are watching this interview and who will watch it on replay?
I mean, definitely whatever you choose to do, far as business wise, just definitely do your research. I mean, times 10. Don't just go on about what somebody tells you, because how it worked for someone else may not work for you. You got to definitely do your own research for yourself, write it out, see if it's going to make sense financial wise. Everything's on the line.
Always try to have plan B.
Yeah. Okay. How is this going to affect your family? How is it going to affect your personal time, your this and your that? Write it out. Be profound about it. And what's my word? Practical.
Yeah. Because that's another thing people don't realize, that once you become a business owner, that's it. That your business comes first in everything. You lose everything else, at least, like I said, for 5 years. None of that, oh, come, we're having a party over here.
It's real.
I can't go. Listen, come, unless it's an emergency, you're not going.
It's real. And I mean, we done had conversation where I'm like, our heads to the wheel. We can't do nothing. We don't do nothing. It's like, this is not, that was the end goal, to run a business, but to do everything else that went along with when we worked for other people and was able to do everything else.
Right.
It's hard. It's hard. Sometimes you don't have a life. You lose a lot of time. And you just gotta figure out how to find balance. I still haven't found balance yet. It's hard. But I'm always still looking for new things, smarter investments, because this right is hard.
Well, I just gave you a new investment after this. So, hey, Minnie, make sure she jump on that.
I will.
Yes.
Whenever she mentions something, I'll say, food truck. Food truck.
Mico said, she said, you got to do it after this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close out. I want to say thank you guys for sharing your experiences, sharing just what you went through, and thank you for painting a picture, a true picture. I try not to have people where I interview and they're like, oh yeah, I go on shopping sprees and I travel every day, and that's TV.
For real.
Because we all know the money that you make, you got to put it back into the business.
Yeah. Right. Definitely.
Oh, what were you about to say, Minnie?
I was going to say, sure, that can happen. How long have they had this business? Or did they inherit this business already on a roll?
Unless they got a super a super bad financial supplier that just keep feeding the seed, then yeah, that might be possible. But when you invest everything and then you sit back waiting on return, you still got to buy things to support the business. That's not how it is.
Okay. All right. So, audience, thank you for taking the time to watch this interview from beginning to end. And also, if you watching this on replay, make sure that you share this interview with other people who thinking about starting maybe a moving business or a transportation business or even a cleaning business. We talked about um, a few things, or even just getting your CDL to drive the city bus or drive motor coaches. So make sure that you share this information with others. Press that like button. Make sure that you leave comments below so Leah and Minnie can respond to them. And they have a lot of experience. It seems like more so experience in transportation that they can be able to kind of like answer your questions. So, like I said, drop a comment below so they can be able to respond. Also, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for some of the subscribers that became members. So keep that in mind. I do a lot of monthly giveaways for gift cards. If you're not a subscriber and you're watching right now, press that subscribe button because I'm going to have my next monthly giveaway for June. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, stay subscribed because they're going to start just getting better over time. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next interview.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.